training, one of our many, many, many installments, and it's going to be a fun morning. And Steve, I'm going to turn this over to you, and we're just going to go back and forth and get things rolling.
Absolutely. Hey, welcome everybody. It's great to talk with you today from all around the world, and I appreciate everyone showing up this morning. And you know, it's great to be here with Woodson. You know, we're going to keep building out ARIIX University. You're going to see some podcasts starting to get launched. I had one earlier, but I redid it. I'm redoing them, and we're going to launch that and work on having a couple podcasts that you can download on iTunes, Stitcher, and also on SoundCloud. So those will be coming your way, so start to look for those, and those will be like training tips and different things of that nature. But what we'll do is we'll kick off, and we'll just start heading through this, and this is kind of our agenda for these training sessions. And you know, so we're going to go through this information. We've got a great guest. We've got to get moving. So I just wanted to cover some highlights in case you may not have seen them from around ARIIX, and there's a couple of new videos that are out. And I don't know if you can get up to that one next, the next slide there. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, good. So here's the thing, you know, a lot of times people are looking for information. They want to know where this is, where that is. And, you know, obviously there's ARIIX presentation, but sometimes you're talking to somebody and you need a specific video, or, you know, you tailor specific things. Somebody might have a question. So what you do is, one of the key components and one of the communication qualities for you is to know what you're talking about. So one of the things is, it's not, you can't go with, oh, I'm new, I don't know anything. Doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work. Have you ever gone somewhere and they say, I just started, or, you know, don't ask me, I just work here, that kind of stuff?
It kills me when people do that.
Yeah, it's the worst, right? You know, and I'm like, yeah, you would be fired. We don't want to be like that. We want to be somebody that knows what we're talking about. And so these are great videos, and they came out over the last you know, about 7 days. There's another one on the so we have basically Prime. There's a little video, and that would give you knowledge on the Prime oil. So we're going to go through that later today. There's a new one out, Nutrified by Deanna. There's one about the Prime oils from Deanna, and also there's a new video for purity. So, and there's another one that I didn't put on here, but it's for the manufacturing. So of the Prime oils.
And can
so
I
those
add something to that? Just real quick. When you have people like Deanna or Dr. Ginger was just placed on the scientific advisory board for ARIIX. So when you have that kind of credibility, you've got Deanna Latson, our Chief Product Officer. Watch these videos over and over. It's like an incredible Cliff Notes version of what you need to know to effectively communicate how incredible they are. And if you watch it a couple of times, you'll be amazed what you can retain. And the more you watch and dig into them, it's like what Steve said. It's not the, well, I don't know, I'm new. It's like, you know what? You need to go here, and you could get lost in how much information I could give you. So I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version. You can go and validate this for yourself, but there's no lack of information out there, Mr. Customer. So you're instilling confidence in them, in you, and in what we're doing, and the company as a whole. But the Ginger Prime video better explained to someone like me who knows nothing about essential oil. It really helped me go, oh my gosh, this really is special. I've got this. I can talk about this. I can promote this. I went out and sold the business pack just so I could have access to the darn things. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. And Steve, everything you said was dead on the money. But I think too many people aren't taking advantage of this incredible resource that we have that get posted, and there's a ton of things out there.
And so you could be like with the Dr. Ginger one. It's so good you're saying this with Dr. Ginger. I mean, this is prospecting, right? You're talking to someone. See, we're always closing people. Like that. And what does that mean? What that means is we're always on it. We're always on it, and we're always in front of people, and we're saying, hey, you know what? Hey, check this out. And you could simply just, you don't even have to explain anything. You could be sitting with something, pointing, pushing play, watching it, and then the person's like, and they're like, yeah, you know what? Actually, if you come in with the Elite Pack, you can actually get these for free and free shipping. It's like another like $180 worth of products that I'll even give them to you. I'm going to get a set. I would give them to you. I mean, we're going to talk about that later. But this is what you do, and you find reasons to talk to people about it. I was talking to somebody else about Prime Oils yesterday, and they are fired up. They've been using oils for years in their medical practice. I'm like, are you kidding me? I thought oil went in your car. You know, I don't know anything about oils, and I'm learning. It's a new whole brand for us. So this is some great information. I also wanted you to know that your Chief Product Officer, Deanna Lotson, right now is like on the plane to go speak with Robert Redford. Hello, ladies. I mean, gentlemen. Like, my mom's probably fainting in the background, but you know, like, that's big. Like, these are the kinds of people we roll with, okay? And this is your Chief Product Officer. She's going there to do a wellness talk, but she's doing it at Sundance, and she's speaking with Robert Redford. I mean, it's unbelievable. So,
it is unbelievable. It's incredible.
And you just find ways to throw that in into your conversation. So, really, why network marketing? And to me, like I said, you know, one of the biggest things, and I see so many people getting in the wrong types of businesses all the time, and they wonder why they spin themselves in a circle and can't get out of them. And one of the big things that you need, like why I went into network marketing, was not because I was looking for network marketing. I needed cash flow that would replace a job, because I didn't want to work at a job that was taking so much time, limited, you know, growth. And so you need cash flow. You need a business that produces cash. And we're going to show you how to have that with ARIIX. And so the first thing you got to do is start getting cash flow coming in. So maybe it's $100, then it's a $200, then you try to get up to $400 a week, and then $600, then $800, and you keep building that. And then as your team grows out, it becomes residual. Now, when you first start in network marketing, the cash flow comes from enrolling new reps, really, and you obviously we're going to get customers as well. But the new reps will create more volume and also have some ASAP bonuses for selling those different packs, which ends up making you more money. So then you can you can actually make up for, you know, you can make up the volume where, you know, a couple years from now when you have hundreds of people in your organization, those auto deliveries will kick in, and then you'll have the residual. When you're trying to get that 13,334 on both of your lines, or 3 lines, or, you know, let's just start with the first 2 lines. That volume's going to be done, if you're going to make that, right, it's going to be done with elite packs, with business packs. You're building those, and then you're going to have customers on top of that. But, you know, if you just go get all customers only, it's going to be a tough row. So that's why some of the packs are in there, to create the cash flow. And this is actually a picture I took in well, actually, I was there. I didn't take that picture. I was at this event with Kiyosaki. I read his book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and what he really talks about is, if you look at that diagram, it's the E, the S. E stands for employee, S for self-employed business person, and you got to get over in that B quadrant. And he talks about 3 ways to do it. You start a big company like Dell Computer, like I used to work at, or you start a franchise, you buy a franchise, or you do network marketing. And network marketing is the easiest way in. And it doesn't always look like it's the biggest business, but if you take it serious, it can make more money than franchises. It can give you a better lifestyle and a better income, and that's where the residuals come in. And with a company like we have with multiple divisions, you have that real staying power. You're not a one-trick pony juice, and then everyone goes, well, I'm not making money, I'm out of here, and then they quit. You know, here we're changing people's lives, and it's helping people, and that's how you create a residual in this industry. You can't have the little cheap companies that you sign up for $99. Those companies never make it big. You have to have companies that have broad spectrum of products, have packages that, you know, anywhere from $3,000 to $1,000, $500 to get started, and we have that. Plus your auto deliveries of $150, $200 a month. We're even less than that. We have that. That's what creates the residual income in network marketing. So that's why you should do it.
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
Absolutely, I love it.
Interrupt you. What you just said, just this week. Speaking through a rep, it was Christy Oki with a plastic surgeon, and she was, you know, it was like, oh gosh, why is this guy even going to listen? But through his wife, she said, no, I really want you to talk to my husband about this. And he knew about the science behind the products. He said, there's no denying it. There's something here. He says, but here's what I do. And this is the business I'm in. I've spent all of my life studying to be a surgeon. I am a surgeon 100%, but here's my dilemma. I have a practice. I have an office lease. I have employees. I only get paid to physically work with, touch, operate on, treat person by person. And when they go out the door, it's done. And then when I go on vacation, I still have to pay my light bill. I still have to pay my office lease. I still have to pay the insurance. I still have to pay my malpractice. I still have to pay all these different insurances and overheads and all of this stuff. And he says, I'm laying awake at night dreaming of how do I do what I'm passionate about doing and have residual income coming in that coincides with what I'm about. And I learned such a valuable lesson from that conversation, that if it's presented in the right way, there isn't a person alive that does not want residual income. And I never thought about it that way. So while his focus is on his practice, he recognizes what we have is real, and he also recognizes that one day he's not going to be doing what he's doing, and he will have no income coming in whatsoever. And so seeing this residual building now through helping people, through something that's so credible, he never would have looked at any other company. I don't think he would have considered it. But the way it was communicated and presented to him, what you're saying with Kiyosaki, everything else, Steve, I'm just saying there is no one immune from wanting residual income, and there really isn't anyone immune like people like you and me, everyday people, that need that cash flow now. So I hope that you don't mind me sharing that little story.
I love it, because this, and we got to get moving on here, but I'm going to tell you what you just said, and I really hope you people follow, everyone follows this, because this is why I believe everybody should look at network marketing. Does that mean everyone's going to join? No, I'm not. That's not one of these dumb, oh, planet's going to join. But listen, like, okay, you want to know what that surgeon, as great as they are, and as talented and as smart, they're way smarter than me, like incredible. But what they really are, when you break it down, they're a white-collar, blue-collar. Means just like a blue-collar guy fixes if he's not fixing your plumbing, well, he's not making money. If he's not fixing your physical plumbing or whatever, you're as a doctor, then they're not getting paid. And so when you break it down like that and say, you know, what could you do with an extra cash flow? What would that, so you got to talk a little bit different, and, you know, versus I want to get you signed up. You know, you can't talk like that. You can't talk like an amateur, right? You got to talk to them about cash flow, why you need another residual income, and other people like that. So that's really where you go with it, and everyone needs to be in that B quadrant, and then become a real estate investor, and then become an investor. But don't become a real estate investor, excuse me, a real estate investor while you have a job. And that's what you're doing, because you're going to get stuck. And so why ARIIX? Real quick. And one of the things that, you know, Fred Cooper looked at is, so we're moving on to this real fast, and we're going to get to our special, most interesting person in the world guest here in a second. But this just came out over the last week, and this is something that ARIIX innovated. And Fred talked about this a couple of years ago. Fred Cooper, the CEO, and, you know, the best compensation guy in the entire network marketing industry. Companies paid him while he was the president of another company. They basically pay him as a consultant to fix their compensation plans. So he knows them all, and he put together this compensation plan to be the best without limitations and all those things. What this is, cost of living expenses is, you know, in 10 years from now, if you make $100 in ARIIX, it is not going to be the same $100 as of today. And so costs of goods happen, you know, gas, everything changes, right? So what they're doing is they've actually increased the team lead bonus, and also added on to our base commissions. I think it's like 2 points, like 0.0. Sandra Miskimen did it for me the other day. She like looked at it and did it in her head. I was like, oh, I'm still like in history class going, huh? And so how do you do that? But it's like 0.0275%. I think that's right. What's in our 0.002? Anyway, it's basically just like inflation goes up 3%. They just added that, and they just multiply like your base commissions by 3%. And so now I'm getting like an extra like $80, $90 every paycheck, which, you know, covers a tank of gas. It's pretty cool. And so that in 5 years from now, that will just be bigger, okay? And so they're doing this, and no other company I've seen does that. I mean, that's just incredible. So this is something new and incredible. I don't, if you have any comments about it.
No, it's just awesome. No, yeah. I think it's wonderful that we're moving with time, so that no one can say, oh, this happened, that happened, the cost of living in the world increased, but our company's commission stayed the same. No, once again, why ARIIX? ARIIX is an industry first. It's leading the way for everyone else to play copycat and catch up. And I love that about ARIIX, because we're really making a mark. And that every little bit counts. Okay, here we go.
All right, so yeah, I put out the most interesting man in the world yesterday, and so I started getting all these posts about, you know, stay thirsty, my friends, from the old Dos Equis commercial here in U.S. Dos Equis being a beer. Sorry if you don't drink beer, but it's a pretty iconic ad and commercial. So so people have tagged onto it. So I kept getting these "Stay thirsty, my friends," and so because I put that post out there in email. So what I wanted to do is introduce our special guest today, and he's somebody that I've known since probably, since probably a little bit after I started in network marketing. And he didn't look this dashing when I first knew him, but actually, no, he's actually gets younger every year. I don't know what he's doing. But this is Del Lewis. And Del Lewis, we're going to bring Del on. We're going to ask him some questions, kind of cover some of his background. He has definitely a different and interesting background. And the thing about Del is you've got to pry this stuff out of him because he won't go and tell you about it, which makes him even more mysterious and interesting, which is really cool. And so Del's not a braggadocious person. He doesn't go out talking about himself. I think I do more of that, but that's what we have to do. We find great people to work with. Del and I were in a previous business, not working together, like Crossline, and I ran into him really at a networking event, which is a whole nother post. I'll probably talk about next week or in the next coming. How to really go to events and become a networker, not someone where you go and you just go to places. And I went to a network marketing training, a generic training that I got, and I ran into Del. And I was like, "What are you doing here?" And I hadn't seen Del in a few years. And I had gone to another one previously and met and saw Del like maybe a couple of years earlier. And it's like, wow, what are you up to? And so we really didn't keep in that good a contact. I said, well, I can't talk to you right now. I'll have to talk to you in about a month and a half if I talk to you anything about this. So I showed Del ARIIX, and so he ended up coming into the company a couple months later after we first met, and he's got a great background. And I just wanted to cover, I don't even know where we want to jump in, but Del, are you out there? Del Lewis from San Marcos, California. Yep.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right, happy to be here.
Nice. Well, Del, I put some slides together because I found some interesting things about you. And, you grew up, here you are. I mean, I know we have Republicans, Democrats. We got all kinds of people in the U.S. over here. They don't live, they're all over the place. And this isn't the political thing. But you grew up in government service. And that's you. That's you in the front on the right. Is that correct? With George, with 41, the President of the United States?
Yep, that's me next to 41.
And that's your family, your brothers, and then your parents, right?
Right. Yep.
And then that's your dad there. And so can you just talk a little bit about, growing up, like what you did, like how you grew up, like, and all that. And I also put the next slide will probably tie in. The next couple of slides will tie into this. But can you just talk about it a little bit?
Sure. And let me just back up for a second because I want everybody on the call to understand.
We'll back up, Woodson, real quick.
Okay.
Steve said that you have to pry this out of me, so that's what I agreed to allow him to pry this out of me today. But what I want to say to everybody on the call is that I'm living proof that an introvert can be successful in network marketing. Everybody thinks network marketing, you got to be some kind of rah-rah, stand on your soapbox in order to make a lot of money, pester a lot of people, and force them to do things. You can make a tremendous amount of money and be a success in this business by being an introvert. And I believe that I'm proof positive for that. So I just wanted to say that to everybody that's out there. If anybody's out there that thinks they're an introvert and thinks that they don't necessarily get energized by being in groups and doing networking, you can still make this business work for you. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Just wanted to say that first.
Good.
So yeah, I've been blessed all my life. I've got a tremendous family. We've done a lot of great things, a lot of fun things, been exposed to a lot of things. But I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, and as you can imagine, the business of that town is the government. So got involved, through my parents and through my father in particular, in various aspects of government and government service. But met a lot of interesting people. I don't particularly play on any particular side of the aisle in terms of Democrat or Republican, but yeah. So growing up in D.C. was definitely an interesting environment.
So what you got to tell us about
that.
Ask them about how'd you get that picture?
Yeah, I want to ask you about because when you talk about rich dad, poor dad, how you grew up with amazing altruistic parents. And I think you didn't even realize how unbelievably special your world was, and I think that adds to your charm. I think that adds to everything about you that makes you so magnetic. But your father was the longest-running ambassador, United States ambassador, I think in history, but also to South Africa, and was there, was friends with Mandela, was there when Mandela was released and was elected, and went through many different administrations, both Democratic and Republican in our country, and no one else has been able to do that. And I think that he instilled in you that ability to communicate that people are people, and no matter where you are. And I think your compassion for people is why you're so good at this business. Can you talk about that, like of just kind of living the example as you were growing up in the public eye, but a little bit out of the public eye, but around this swirling controversy or whatever you want to say. But how did that influence you into who you are now and recognizing what we're doing helping people?
Sure. It's a great question, and I'm glad you brought up the point too, Woodson, because it's a very interesting one. If I can just spend a second to talk about my dad. When he was ambassador to South Africa, he was a Clinton appointee. And after Clinton stepped down and there was the Gore-Bush election, and Bush 43 won the election, what happens for all ambassadors that are politically appointed is that when a new administration comes in, they all unilaterally submit their resignation. It's just a formality that they do. And then that new administration gets to pick the ambassadors that they want in these various areas. Well, my dad, as you can see, there was a picture of him with Bishop Desmond Tutu. He was working with the South African government, particularly on the AIDS issue. And he was making a lot of progress on the AIDS issue. And the election had happened, and he tendered his resignation, as everybody does unilaterally, but he petitioned the Bush administration, and in particular his friend, Colin Powell, who was Secretary of State under the Bush administration, to see if he could stay on a little longer. And it wasn't to stay on a little longer because he wanted to be in power and he wanted to be on a pedestal. He wanted to stay in the country for a little longer because he was working on the AIDS issue and he was making great progress. So every single ambassador around the world, U.S. ambassador around the world, came home after the election except for my dad, who got to stay in South Africa and continue the good work that he was doing. So he was able to cross the aisle. And that really, as Woodson points out, that's an illustration, I think, of the way our family operates and what we do. People are people. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. It doesn't matter what your political ideology is. We're all people, and we're all here on this earth to do things. And that's what I love about the ARIIX business, is because I believe that the founders of ARIIX really understand that and believe that people are people, and that we need to have products and services and things that benefit people, regardless of what they look like or regardless of what their ideas or beliefs happen to be.
I love that, Steve. Keep this going.
Man, Del, I'm learning stuff like all the time right now, and it's just so cool, like your background and, not only growing up like this, but, it's as you've gotten older, it's continued. And I know your dad even likes the products a lot too. I don't know, you want to talk about that at all?
Well, my dad's a business partner. He's one of the first people I approached. And, I also want to say that this is a business. I'm a business person. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm actually a serial entrepreneur. I believe in multiple streams of income, and I own several businesses. This is another one of the businesses that I own. So one of the first things that I did after Steve, when you and I reconnected, and you told me about what was going on with ARIIX, and I understood from a business standpoint what the founders, Fred and Mark and Deanna, were going to create here. That's where I really got excited and energized. And so starting it as a business, the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to get my partners involved, my quote-unquote partners. And my father has been an instrumental partner in a number of my businesses. So he was one of the first people that I went to talk to him about this. And you have to understand, I didn't go to him and say, hey, Dad, you need to help me out. I got involved in this business, and I'm trying to make some money and I need to sign you up. I said, no. I sat him down and I said, look.
The desperation move.
Exactly. We sat down and I said, look, here's what I've decided to do, and these are the reasons that I've decided to do it, and this is the plan that I have, and I'm putting together the team. And obviously, you're one of the first people that I'm coming to. He was on board in a heartbeat. So he is a business partner. Now, the other thing I love about this business is that, and I think this is true in any business, if you want to be a success in business, you've got to believe in what it is that you're selling, and you have to believe that it has value. And I believe that all of us that are involved in ARIIX are walking billboards in that regard. So one of the first things that we did, actually, this was actually at the behest of you, Steve, when you said, you gotta really, I know you're taking the products, Dell, but you gotta really embrace them. And I want you to embrace this weight management piece here. Even though, you might think you want to lose a couple of pounds here and there,
I'm going to the picture.
So
we're going to have to go back and forth on this one.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll go back.
But anyway, but what I wanted to say was we started to embrace the products, and so my dad is now living proof that the products actually worked, and he is on cloud 9 because he has never looked or felt this way in his entire life, and it's all because of the products and things that we have. There's a picture you can see of me there on the left. That's the way I was.
Yeah, and, Dell's head is down because I was just yelling at him because I said, dude, you need to get on it. Do it the right way. He was feeling bad about himself like a good merchant marine would. And so he was able to listen to the Army captain and say, man, you'll be unstoppable if you just follow this program.
Yep.
It is. It's amazing.
And I'm going to tell you, I've seen Dell. Dell looks like, okay, 53. He looks like he's 35 now. I mean, that's unbelievable. So. Yeah.
And I feel great. And I absolutely feel great.
Can you, Dell? Can you just say? Can you say? Like, we're going to come back to that. We got to cover a couple of things here because we're giving away the prizes here. But we're here. This is Dell. I think that's the last one before this. So, this was
the one before.
So, just give us a little bit about the Merchant. Yeah, give us a little bit about the Merchant Marine Academy. This is the campus, I believe. I pulled it up, and and you guys actually get a naval commission and a reserve naval commission when you graduate. And can you just give people a brief about what the Merchant Marine Academy even is, and like the equivalent to the different academies in the U.S., like the West Point, Annapolis, like West Point for the Army, Annapolis for the Navy, Air Force Academy for the Air Force, which puts out some of the officers that join the military. So you went to the Merchant Marine Academy.
That's right. So you've got 4 of the 5 federal academies. Do you know the 5th?
Coast Guard.
There you go. There's my man.
Come on. You think who's talking to?
I know you knew the answer. I'm not so sure if anybody else on the call knew the answer.
Oh, that's all right.
I usually do that as a little bit of trivia. There are 5 federal academies in the United States, and Steve has ran them down beautifully. There's West Point for the military. There's Annapolis for the Navy. There's Air Force Academy, obviously, for the Air Force, Coast Guard Academy for the Coast Guard, and the United States Merchant Marine Academy. It's probably the world's best kept secret. It has the highest academics of all 5 of the federal academies. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it's the hardest one to get into. What we do is they graduate, those of us that graduate serve in the commercial industry. Every ship that is commercially owned is a part of the U.S. Merchant Marine. And the reason that there's a federal academy and there's a reason that tax dollars support it is because we rely so much on our commercial seagoing power in time of national emergency and in peacetime. Did you know that 96% of everything that's imported to us in the United States is brought here by water?
I saw that statistic. That was amazing. I saw when I was looking this up. I was like, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah,
absolutely unbelievable. And did you know that 90-some% of all the goods and ammunition and anything else that we have in a conflict is brought to that theater by water? And it's not brought to the theater by a naval ship. Naval ships have no capacity to carry cargo. They carry people and they carry bombs.
Yeah.
All of the rest of that is brought by commercial ships. So this is the reason why there's a federal academy. So your tax dollars are going to good use to train those of us that do that. And then we also get a commission in the Naval Reserve when we graduate. We graduate with three things. We graduate with a degree, we graduate with a commission in the Naval Reserve, and we graduate with a U.S. Coast Guard license to operate these ships. Phenomenal place. Totally shaped my life, and I believe that much of the success that I've had in my life is due to being at that place that you're seeing in the picture right there.
That is amazing. That is so awesome. And so now, there you are. You've talked about you have multiple streams of income. You own multiple businesses. You recognize what ARIIX does, and you absolutely pour yourself into your team. That is the one thing in getting to know you, Del, is you exemplify servant leadership, in my opinion, better than anyone in the field. You have a thriving business. People know who you are, yet you are probably the best kept secret within the company. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Hello.
But I think that that's wonderful because it's never about you. It is always about what you can do for the prospect, what you can do for the new team member, what you are doing for your customers, what you are doing. You also exemplify the generous heart that is such a big part of ARIIX and being in the community. And I just want everybody to know that. There are so many facets to Del. It's incredible. I know we're not going to get into this, but you are a best-selling author on top of all of this other stuff. It's like, what? And so it's so much fun hearing you speak of this, from the example set at home when you were a child to the amazing family that you have now. So let's talk about that, Steve. Even from his brother to what Del's doing with his family, and I know the next picture is of all of them together. So, Steve, tell them about.
Well, this has freaked me out, like because we've had, my kids are 13, 11, 9, and so gosh, what do they? I know some people don't have TV in their house. I don't know what's wrong with them, but we do, and so we grew up, with the kids watching some shows and different things, and I used to see this show. Because there was most of them like, oh my gosh, I can't watch that show. It's just killing me. But, this one was pretty good. Like, I liked The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and I really liked it because of Mr. Mosby, which, turns out to be Del's brother. I didn't even know this, after I just learned this maybe like a year ago. And I was like, are you kidding me? Mr. Mosby was the funniest dude in the kids' TV shows. I mean, I loved it. And then, come to find out, he was in City Slickers. I mean, Del does, where's, most people are like, where's your brother work? I don't know. He works at Nordstrom's, or, my brother works at the bank. What's your brother do? Oh, he's in City Slickers. But, pass the salt. I mean, are you kidding me? So,
I'm totally with you.
And, and Del's brother, Phil Lewis, also was Mr. Mosby. Go back up, and he's also, he's directing Mike and Molly. Is he producing it? What is he doing exactly, Del?
He's directing Mike and Molly, yeah.
And that's you with the guy from Mike and Molly. I don't know his name. I don't know his real name, but he's there.
That was actually at a dinner, and I want to, if I can just brag about my brother for a second. I mean, the Mr. Mosby, all that stuff is great, and City Slickers and all that stuff is great. That picture that you see there with Billy Gardell, and that's next to Billy is my son Trey, and then my daughter Claire, and then I'm over on the right. And I just want to speak about this for a second because that was at a dinner that was honoring my brother for all of his work with lupus and the Lupus Foundation. So we can talk about Hollywood stars and we can talk about this and that and directing shows and starring on shows. But, he's also a servant leader. And I was just so proud of him and so excited to have my family there in L.A. At that presentation where he received an award from the Lupus Foundation.
Wow. Incredible.
That is so awesome. It is incredible. And all of it, I mean, it's just great. And Mike and Molly, I don't know how many Emmys they were nominated for. I mean, just a ton across so many different things. And it just shows that
he didn't want to talk to Del because Del would kill his career with Slenderex. So he just said, no, I can't talk to you about that.
So
well, we did have a little bit of a conversation. So I'll let everybody on the call know if you can keep a secret if you happen to see Billy Gardell losing a little bit of weight, you will know that it's a result of your awesome products, but you need to keep that as a secret.
All right,
That's
awesome.
covered.
And this is your,
That
like
is so cool.
yeah, that's awesome. And there's your brother, your dad, you, and your kids, and over, I probably had at a baseball game or something.
At a baseball game, yeah. Yeah, we were out at a baseball game. That actually there, the kid there next to my son Trey in the baseball cap and the blue sweatshirt is actually my cousin. That's actually my cousin's son, and he's Swedish. My cousin is Swedish. His father is my mother's brother, and his mother is Swedish, and he grew up in Sweden. And so Simon was over here visiting us for the summer, and so he hadn't seen a real American baseball game, so we got the family together and all went out to see him.
I take it you didn't take him to the Padres.
No, I didn't take him to the Padres.
You wanted to show him a real game.
Exactly.
All right. No, just kidding. Padres are good. I like them.
Yeah, this is awesome. But that's absolutely incredible. So now, even though it was a spoiler alert, but I had to show a before and after picture when y'all were talking about that. Slenderize. So Del, you're building a business. It's all about health, nutrition. You literally you're emoting the fountain of youth. I mean, you didn't look bad to begin with, but you really have reversed the clock. It's cool to see that happen from within. And Slenderize is amazing. You just told us like a really cool, super secret of people using the products. But Steve, let's talk about this brand highlight real quick with what Del has done, the proof being in the pudding, him being the product of the product, of people coming to him now on a lot of different levels, or wherever you want to take this with Del, because we could go in 10,000 different directions.
What I want to do, Del, is, yeah, I appreciate that, Woodson. What I want to do, Del, on this is, we know about this product. Like, this is the core of what you did. But can you tell people what you did so, like, they don't think you did, like, 6 million sit-ups and ran, around the track with, like, Rocky clothes on and, like, you know what I mean? Like, can you just kind of tell people, like, without going into, as much detail as you want, what you did? And I'm just going to preface it by saying you were taking some products. I don't know what you were taking, but the picture, the first picture you had there, I remember saying, Del, if you really do this like I did it, you're going to see, no one will be able to tell you about like how to lose weight or how to get in shape or anything, and you'll be able to do it without a whole bunch of exercise other than walking. And you followed our program, like the 3X Fat Loss Program, which basically incorporates that with an eating program, incorporates, just like Migrate 28 does, incorporates that program right there with the Slenderize clinical pack, but also with the right eating. And can you just kind of tell people what you did?
Sure. So I want to give everybody a visual. That 218 pounds on the left there is what I consider my ultimate weight. I'd never been that high before, okay? I had been around 212, 211 sometimes before, but I'd never been up to 218 before. And so when I got on to the whole Slenderize program, that was the 218. But I want to give you a visual when you talk about what I did. If you can just sort of mentally take maybe 5 to 7 pounds off of that 218, okay, and bring it down to around 212, 210, somewhere in there. 212, 210, that's the way I looked when I was doing P90X. Okay, I'm a P90X quote-unquote graduate. I've gone through the program the whole 13 weeks almost 3 times, okay, in my life. And I never got down below the 210, 205, okay? So then I decided to use the ARIIX products and the ARIIX system. And I said, okay, if I'm going to do this, I want to prove to myself that this is going to work, so I can prove to others this is going to work. In terms of exercise, all I did for 8 weeks, the only thing I did for 8 weeks was walk around my block for a total of 30 minutes. Walk around my block for a total of 30 minutes. And I actually didn't even do that for the entire 8 weeks because I decided that in the beginning, I only walked around the block for 15 minutes. So I did about 2 or 3 weeks of just 15 minutes. Worked my way up to just a walk of 30 minutes. And then the other thing that I did, and in hindsight, our system and our program is actually the simplest thing in the world. all I did was I just changed the foods that I ate. I didn't even change how I ate or when I ate. I still ate my 3 solid meals a day, and I actually added a snack midday. But I just, and those of you that are on the call that know from our business, you know that when you get the Slenderize pack, you get an approved foods list. If you eat from that approved foods list, you will get results similar to what I got in the time that I got it. So that 218 down to that 175 was simply a small walk, a leisurely walk, 30 minutes a day, and just eating from the approved foods list. Now, I will say the thing that made it, in my mind, so easy was the drops. That's what made it easy for me to stay on that approved foods list. And, you know, and as Steve was coaching me, you start to, when you take those drops, you start to get rid of the sugar addiction. Because that's what I hate to tell you guys, but we in the United States are addicted to sugar and addicted to the chemicals that are in our food. And when you start to change your lifestyle and just make those simple changes, you will start to eliminate that addiction from your life, which is basically what I did. And, you know, I guess the rest is history. I told Steve I wanted to give him back pictures because, you know, I can give you frontal pictures and I can always suck in my stomach, but you can't suck in a back. Okay, so
I love that. That's my new favorite saying, by the way. You can't suck in your back. I love that.
That's great.
It is what it is. So I hope that answers your question, Steve. If you have some follow-ons, I'll answer those. But it's really a very simple process. And I really want to stress, I mean, I went from P90X. I mean, I don't know if you guys understand P90X. It's an hour a day of, you know, strenuous exercise. And I did that for 26 weeks. All right, and I never got below like the 210, 207. And I never got anywhere near a six-pack abs, and I never had anywhere near a back like I got now. Change that to a simple walk and changing the way that I eat and supplementing that with the right supplements that you see in the supplement picture and the drops. And that's all it is.
My God. You know what? This is incredible. And this is exactly what we're doing. So keep it simple, everybody. Quit complicating and trying to figure out, well, what if I eat this? Go to the foods list, eat that. You know, you might want to take out some of the fruit if that's something you're really having trouble with, sugar and sweet stuff. But I mean, with our shake, the new one with the chocolate and, you know, the stevia, which doesn't have an aftertaste on ours. I mean, all of that stuff. It's so simple. You just got to do it. And this is exactly what I did too. And 1 year ago, I ran a half marathon. I trained like 5 weeks prior. You know, I was like, I'm going. So I went and did it. You know, I finished, you know, and I was 195. I'm 165 right now. And I started this thing in January of last year. So because I led by example, and even if you don't need to lose weight, you need you must have those 40 vital minerals and vitamins.
Oh my gosh!
Every day,
yeah.
You got to have that. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally, and people will see it in your skin. They'll see it in your hair. They will see it in your overall just well-being. You can't fake healthy, and that's what I tell people. You can fake all kinds of stuff, but you can't fake healthy.
Yep.
And so whether people need a weight transformation or not. And I agree with Dell. My transformation was 30 minutes of moving every day. Just 30 minutes. 30 minutes of doing something. And I couldn't believe, like what you were saying, not lifting a weight, not doing a thing. But this is just absolutely amazing. And Dell, I want to thank you so much, not only for being part of ARIIX, but for being like the most awesome teammate anybody could have, but also for just living by example and always being there, no matter who it is, what they need, what team they're on. You're always there to lift people up and do what you need to do, and that is why you are just such a treasure to everything that we're doing, from a credibility standpoint, a business standpoint, a health standpoint, a servant leadership standpoint, and the list just goes on and on and on. And your family rocks. Your wife is amazing. Your children are adorable, and we just love you to pieces.
Well, listen, I want to really truly thank you for recognizing that, because that's the way that I work to live my life. and it's just gratifying to me to be recognized that somebody realizes that I'm actually doing that. And so I just appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome and so deserving. And it's, I mean, what else could you say? It like permeates out of you. You're like
hit the next slide, because I just want to point out, because Dell shows up. He comes to the weekly meetings that we have.
Yeah.
I said, well, here, let's go meet Tim Sales. So, he got to meet Tim Sales at the convention. He was a testimonial on my video. Guy, you look kind of fat in that video. I think that's because you weren't on the program yet. But anyways.
You are killing me, Steve.
I'm just messing with Dell. Dell and I are like brothers. So, like.
We are.
You've just completely changed. You're an example. You're a leader, and we're lucky to have you here. And so you can punch me in the arm later for digging up all these pictures about you yesterday. So
I don't know where you found some of those. The internet is a great thing. It's wonderful. No, we've got an awesome team. I'm talking about the entire ARIIX family. So if you're on the call today, regardless of whose team you're actually on and what your upline is and whatnot, we're all a part of the ARIIX family, and it's just an awesome organization. And I can tell you from a business owner's standpoint, you are in no better place, because the people at the top know how to run this business and know how to make it work. And they've recruited people like Steve and like Woodson that are helping them build it in the right way. And I've never been a part of an organization that seems more truly like a family. And, we're all in this together. And I think it's because we've got products that truly change lives. And when you have that, you don't have to fake anything. It's like, here, do this. This is what I did. Look at me. Look at me when I was the way I was before. Look at me now. This can be you as well if that's something that you want. And it just becomes a very easy conversation.
All right, Dale. Beautiful. Good job, man.
Perfect.
You guys get off. I know you have to get off and go somewhere. You're busy. We look forward to catching up with you again, and thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm going to bug out.
Thank you.
I'm taking my son up to the Bay Area. We're going to be looking at colleges, so we're going to head out on a road trip today. So.
How exciting!
Exciting. Yeah. Awesome.
So I'm going to bug out of here.
No worries.
So much.
Alrighty.
Happy Veterans Day, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Same to you, my friend.
You bet. Thanks.
All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Dale.
All right.
Thanks. Okay, guys.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was awesome. So we're going to shift gears real fast. We don't have a lot of time left, but we're going to shift gears. And I wanted to give you guys somewhere where you can go and actually learn about prime oils. We went from this testosterone.
Do you want me to go to the?
Yeah. We went from the testosterone. Now we're going into pastels. But here we come with the oils.
So funny.
So I know. But we're going to pull up the website so you all can go there. And or all y'all can go there, and everybody here can go there, and you can see the site. I love the site because it changes colors. This is a really cool site that ARIIX has. It's Prime Oils, Primes with 2 I's, so PRIIME oils.com, and you can go in there and you can start studying about the products. Right? You can click on the different places, and you can look at the products.
Click on products.
Yeah, click on products and pull them up, and they have the uses. So you guys can go through there and understand, like, hey, you can put this onto your, if you put this, you can put this onto your, like throw it in your laundry, and, make sure you read this stuff, because I have the oils, and I was like putting stuff like, oh, I'll rub this here, and I was like rubbing like the Century, which is like,
You are correct.
You don't want to put that on your face. Just put it that way, okay? And so, especially after you shaved, because it'll burn your face off. And but no, I'm just kidding. But it's a great. There's all have their different, different remedies, and we're all learning about it. And ours are, one of the things you mentioned, Woodson, is that. These are blend together. A lot of companies have a whole bunch of oils. We put these different blends together, and we went to the sourcing of the products is incredible. And so you'll start to learn about all this.
Separates us. Absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to say that instead of having 50,000 oils that do whatever, they are blended together in a proprietary form for the most common questions, what people are looking for, what people need, what people want. so that they can get a very, once again, we're going to use the word efficacious, so that they can see how effective they really are. And that was what was so shocking to me, is learning about that, and even how they're harvested, how they're grown, where the sources for our oils blows away any other harvesting that's out there. And if you want to get that detailed, you go watch those videos, you listen to Deanna, you listen to Dr. Ginger, you get your hiney on this website when everyone else is sleeping, and you read about the philosophy. You read about the products. You understand how all of this came together. And I'm telling you, when I heard about the essential oils, I was like, yeah, that's cool. I know some people are into that. I really had no idea what a big industry this was, what it really means to someone's health or something that they want to address, how it can be incorporated into our new Purity airline that's getting ready to come out, and all of the above. And the #1 memory recollection sense that you have in your entire makeup as far as what triggers memories, feelings, emotions, and how your body responds healthily to different things is smell. I did not know that until I started doing my research on Prime. And I went, wow, that is so cool. So now I can talk about it, even though I'm not a scientist or an expert on it. I know enough that I can really talk about this and get it in people's hands. But first, you got to get it in your hands by building your business. And we're going to talk about that next. Is that okay, Steve?
Absolutely. Love it. There's a promotion going on, how you can get these. We have them because I was in Hong Kong and I got them. I bought like 3 sets and sold them to some people here that wanted them. And we're using them as well, learning about them. And again, those videos are out. That site's great. There's a promotion going on right now about the Prime oils. I don't know if you have that promotion up, but it was on that website, but I don't know if you got it. But anyway, when you sell a set, when you sell a business,
do you want me to go back to it?
Yeah, I thought we were going to just pull it up real fast just to cover the rules so people can understand. Sorry about that. But
no, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. So we have so there's a promotion going on right now. It's been going on for a week in the U.S. and basically in the U.S. and Canada. And what it is if when you sell an Elite Pack, ARIIX will ship you. I know it says on this form they'll wait to put it on your auto delivery, but they're not going to do that. They're going to immediately ship it out to you, and they will ship you out all of the essential oils. It's $159 worth of free products, and they're going to ship it for free of shipping. So you don't pay for the shipping. So let's say I signed up, Michelle with an Elite Pack. She'll get her Elite Pack, and ARIIX is going to send me the essential oils for free. Okay, I can choose to tell Michelle, hey, you know what? I'll actually give these to you, or I'll do whatever. Like you can figure that out for yourselves how you want to do that. But that's a technique. And so if you hit on get it now, right there.
Okay.
It should. I know your thing just popped over it.
No, it's okay. It's get it now. Where is it?
In the right corner, right on the right side.
Oh, and that's why, because it's under the dashboard. That's why. I was like, what am I doing? I'm losing
I know. This is a cool website. I like it a lot. So if you hit get it now, cool. It pulls up all the rules of this thing. So if you sell a business pack, then you have the ability to actually purchase. So if I sold Michelle a business pack, then ARIIX says, okay, you can purchase your oils, and then I can get them sent to me. I don't know if it's you see it over on the right.
I'm trying to get it to go. Coming soon. Boom. Come on now. I think it's because of it streaming and changing colors and us being on GoToWebinar, and there's so
anyway,
people on.
We're good. We can. You guys. It's over on the right side. I don't know. It's not, but it's going to come out in the U.S.
It's swirling.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to come out in the U.S., and this gives you a chance to get some of these products in your hands and make this into something where you start to get educated, you start to see the results, so you're really ready to run down the track as this launches in North America at the convention. And so if you want one of the sneak previews of a new brand that's really doing well, Primal Essential Oils, and it stands out from the crowd of other oil companies out there. So, okay, good. So let's move on real fast.
All right. You got it. We're talking about hard chargers in the field. Guys, don't let your time constraints, running multiple businesses, having to know everything about everything stop you. We want to give two huge shout-outs to two top ambassadors in the world in ARIIX, building the business part-time, and they're both considered rookies because both of them are less than a year in the business. And you can see the rankings right there. This is right from corporate on the right-hand side. And let's talk about Sandra Miskimen.
Yeah, absolutely. Sandra has had direct sales, like the party plan type of background. She came together with Sue Ardley and Dee Staines from the UK, and through part of our team with Cynthia McSweeney through our group in Portugal. So like that's how it all came about. And Sandra just she came out, she came to an event, she got the belief, she went back, got a story like Dell's. Amazing story. She looks incredible. Like she just, she's a mom of a couple boys. Her husband works, and she's over here busting her butt over there in a little village in Northern Ireland. And she and Christy are back and forth, neck and neck for second and third. And they have a month. They have like basically a month and almost 2 months, a little less than 2 months. And they will be winning trips to Hawaii to join us over at the Elite Retreat. Unreal. So go ahead and tell us about Christy real fast.
It is so exciting. Okay,
yeah.
Christy real fast. Y'all heard her last week. She lives in Omaha. There was no local support there. There were no meetings. She created her own, from her living room to a conference room. But here's what I want you to know. She next week is on her way to Bountiful, Utah. And there are some leaders of us are going out there to celebrate her success. She now has the highest conversion rate from customers to reps in the entire North America, Netherlands, European, Canadian market. That is mind-blowing. So not only is she a top ambassador, she has the highest conversion rate of customers to reps. So we're going to be talking about that. Everything, what we're doing here at ARIIX University, we're going to be getting answers from these people of what they're doing. And the great thing, they want to share. They want to help everybody. They want to let the world know that we help each other. We're different. We're, we're not just one of those things. And Sandra and Christy are just two dynamos. And I love the fact they're part of the business. I love the fact that they're less than a year in the business. And I love the fact that they're so open and willing to share. And it's just really cool. We wanted to give them huge shout-outs.
Yeah, I see some other good names on there like Stefan Woodson, Casey Peterson over here. So awesome.
We've got some fun people on there.
Tammy and Scott Cromwell. I mean, it's unbelievable. So good stuff.
All right, let's close it out with hitting everybody square in the face of what it means to go out. Someone get there. You get your 4. Help someone else get their 4. And help that keep duplicating. I love this slide that was sketched out by Steve. I mean, this literally was a sketch. And I said, you need to scan that in. What are you doing? So Steve, tell us about it.
This is ugly, and I know Woodson's cringing a little bit, but it is cool. For me, I had to get an understanding of matching bonus. So, I shied away from all math. Like Fred and I are unbelievable. We can even talk together, but he's a pretty versatile person. So, I shied away, but I'm not stupid when I see certain numbers. I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out when I want to. Why I say all that is I can't just look at something and go, oh, I got it. 10%, 7%, 5%, 7, 15%, 10, 4 generations of 5. Oh, I got it. Or 5 generations of 5%. I got it all down. I don't have it down. I don't get it. Okay. So all I did here is. There's no perfect theory where everyone signs up and they all get 4 and 4. That doesn't work. I mean, it's not the reality of life, okay? But what I had to do here is to show you part of the compensation plan that's the most amazing part, that if you knew this, really knew it, you wouldn't even sleep. You would get your butt moving and get rolling. Obviously, we have base commissions. That's where we sell packs, we sell products, we get people to buy the products as customers, and that creates our volume, like when you sign up an elite pack at 1,000 volume points. When you enroll someone with a business pack, 500 points. 250, etc. People's auto deliveries of 75 points, 150 points, etc. All of that creates our base commissions. And so, wherever you sponsor a person, there's another part of the compensation plan called the matching bonus. and it has 7 generations. And so what I had to do is write it out as if okay, how it really looks. And the way I put some numbers to it, I just kind of said, well, what if everybody made $100? That way I can kind of see how this thing rolls out, like what it looks like. And obviously not everyone's going to make $100. Some people are going to make more. Some people will make less. But I had to put some numbers to it. I'm just trying to set the stage for you guys, okay, so you can kind of see. And it can actually be way bigger than this. But let's say that's you, and you sponsor. This isn't your tree. This is wherever you sponsor someone. So if I place someone on my line 1, and then that person signs up 4 people, well, excuse me, I sign up 4 people, right? So that's 15%. So I sign up my first 4 people. I place them whichever legs I'm putting them on. And let's just say that each one of those people this week made $100, okay? So if each one of those people had made $100, then I would make $60, okay? So that's the first generation. Anyone I enroll, I make 15% of their base commissions. They each make $100. That's $15. 15 times 4 is 60. I can do that math. Let's say each one of those 4 enrolls their 4 people, okay? And each one of those people makes $100, okay? So now I earn 10% of that second generation right there. So 16 times 10, I can do that math. That's 160. Woo! All right. So let's say we take it down another generation. Those people all sign up their 4. So now across that board, we've got 64 people at $5. That's $320, okay? And we go down to the next one. It's 256 people at $1,280. Now, all of these are adding up, okay? How do I get the first 3 generations? I enroll 4 people in the first 8 weeks of the business. I'm gold status. If I didn't do that, I maintain 4 people that are on auto delivery that I enrolled. They enrolled at the minimum of, in the U.S., 150 points, UK 200, and they basically activated with the boss, and then they had 1 auto delivery. If I have 4 people do that in the first 8 weeks, I'm gold status. So I unlock the first 3 generations of that matching bonus for life, even if those people after the second auto ship they quit or whatever happens. I still unlock those first 3 generations. That's why you want to go gold. If you weren't able to accomplish that, what you have to do is have 4 people that you personally sponsored that, you know, activated with a boss, and the minimum of 200 points in the UK, 150 in the US. So you have 4 people that have activated and are on auto delivery that you sponsored every 4 weeks. You got to have 4. That's called silver status. If you're silver, then you unlock those first 3 generations. Literally, there's someone in China that did their first 4, but really didn't build a pay line, but they sponsored someone who became a chairperson, I think 4, and that person earns almost 6 figures a year just from matching bonus, and they don't even have a pay line. So their base commissions are really nothing, but they have at least the first 3 generations. Okay, pretty crazy. All right, so moving down from that first that 5% there where it says 64 people on the right. The next one will be 256. So that's 1280. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th generation. So the 4th generation, how I earn that is I earn personally $500 in base commissions. I'll get the 4th generation. That's how it works. And the 5th generation is I make $1,000 in base commissions. Well, that would be, if everyone had done the 4, etc., that would be 1,024 people at $5. That's $5,120. Okay. Move down to the 6th generation. How do I do that? I make $2,000 in base commissions. I optimize the position. Okay. So I make $2,000 and I optimize my position at, I'm basically making $2,000 in base commissions. I will get that 6th generation, and that's over 4,096 at $5 a piece. That's $20,480 for the week. Okay, now all of these are adding up. The 7th generation, I would have 2 income positions or $4,000 in base commissions. That unlocks the 7th generation. And I've been unlocking the 7th generation, but obviously the team isn't. Underneath this group would be quite a bit of people. Okay, I'm not saying this is some small team. This would be quite a bit of folks underneath that 7th generation. And this is where that big. It's probably it's a big number, but this is for the big leaders. This is for the big leaders that are going to have the long-term big residuals. This is here, and so. You add, that would be $81,000 for the week. I'm not guaranteeing you're going to make all this, but if you just put these, these are just some small numbers I put in here that ends up being, a bunch of $5, $6, $7. All of that adds up, and that's what your matching bonus would be per week, $109,340 per week.
Yep.
Okay, that's why matching bonus. And by the way, no one bounces out of this like, oh, well, Woodson became a blah, 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 so I no longer earn off of her. No, no one. No, if you sponsor the person and they go crazy, then you're going to earn the matching. There's no breakaways.
Totally.
I have some people out there saying, yeah, some people in some other company like, well, we have 8 generations of matching. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but when someone becomes a silver,
purple
lollipop or whatever, that's about, let's say they make $1,000, you no longer earn matching bonus. So you don't earn it on quote unquote, the studs, you earn it on the duds, basically, right? The people that aren't really building. So.
And this is the other thing that I want to close out with, what Steve said. Guys, no one breaks away. No one bounces out. But if you're doing this, not only are you optimizing and earning additional income positions, think of how many people on your team are. Yeah. And where are they going to put their income positions? Back inside your team. So when someone on your 3rd level or 2nd level or 1st level optimizes and re-enters the business, and now with the power re-entry, anywhere in the world, the 15% starts over. 10, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. If they're a 10%er to you, when they re-enter, because they've optimized, guys, that starts all over again. So truthfully, if you really wanted to get technical, it really doesn't stop, because it keeps re-triggering every time your team, your teammate, someone in your matching optimizes and comes back into the business. And that is why this is so revolutionary. It's not necessarily just 7 levels to you one time. It can be 7 levels to you an infinite amount of time, depending on how the leadership culture you cultivate within your business. And that is what Steve is so good at. He really has cultivated a leadership culture within his team that he wants everyone outdoing him. It's something that we are very excited about, elevating those people up to get them where they need to be, because they deserve those accolades. They deserve for people to know who they are, and we want to solidify leadership within the team. So I love this slide, and I love the fact that it's sketched out this way, that I want people to know that every time someone optimizes, it re-triggers again. So Steve, kick our butt and send us into...
Well, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to share the business with people, guys. That's what people, the biggest stress in people's lives isn't really always their health. It's really their income, their lack of money, which stresses them out. They start eating crazy. They start doing all these different things. And so their health takes a turn for the worse. People need more income. There's not anybody you don't know at the soccer games or football games or whatever. They all want more income if you sat down and talked to them, right? If you hit them over the head about it, they're going to back away and recoil. But if you sit down and learn about somebody, and you send those text messages, hey, I want to sit, lunch next week, on text. And they say, sure, what's up? I want to run something past you. Well, when you get to that appointment, you sit down, and that's where you better be good in person, and you better not be like the Twitter, be sitting there texting while you're talking to them. You better sit down, learn about the person, and spend some time with people, and find those types of people that really, like the Del Lewises, like the Christy Okies that are on cruise ships, that are walking at different events. If you sit down and learn about somebody and go to lunch with them and talk to them, and you build that relationship, that's how your income gets built. It's not, I signed up a Dynamo and you watch them go. You got to build the relationships. I'm going over to the UK. I got to go over there because we got to build this business. We got to build the relationships. We got to have fun together, and we got to lock arms and rock it. And that's what Woodson and I have done, and that's what other people in my team have done. That's what Dale has done, and that's what you're really looking for. You're looking for those key people that are here to stay with it and go, right? Someone that's not off onto the next little silly business that's out there, the little next little network that jumps out, or one of these different types of things. They're here because they've gotten results. You think Dale's going to go anywhere? He's not going anywhere. He's here. You know what I'm saying? He got that result, and that's what's going to build your business ultimately. Okay, so I want you to know that.
Exactly.
You want residual income? Get your people making money. How do you get them making money? Set appointments, get in front of people, and get people on the products, and get people that and talk to people and say, hey, you know what? I don't know if this is for you. This may not be for you, but you know what? I'm building this business here in San Diego, and I'm looking for leaders like yourself. I thought of you because of how much respect I have for you. Would you ever consider creating more income? You have conversations like that with people, you're going to do well. All right. So if you just do the sizzle talks and pump people into meetings and, and everyone's, oh, it's a bunch of hype, I'm telling you, it comes and goes.
Happen.
It comes and goes.
Piggybacking that, do not let any of you buy into the I can't do anything till after the holidays stuff.
Oh, no way.
Because now's the time you set the stage, not only to close out the year, but to kickstart 15 in a huge way. There's not one person you're thinking of or talking to that hasn't already started their plan of their new selves, the new you, whether it's their health, whether it's finances, or both. Promise me, you can take what I just said to the bank. Now is when you set the stage. If they're ready to get started now, or you just keep that communication going with them to hit it really hard in the new year. And I'm just tickled pink. It's seeing everything, the responses. Thank you guys so much for your kind words coming through on the chat. That is just awesome. And I tell you what, let's close this out. We've already gone over. We're keeping these short and sweet. This will be formatted and posted today, just like it was done last week. And let's rock this out. And Steve, I can't wait to see you in Salt Lake next week. There are some other leaders we're going to see out there. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome, guys. Have a good one. Thanks so much, Woodson. You did great. Dell, awesome. Everybody, let's rock this and get those, sell those elite packs, sell those business packs so you can get those oils. Make some deal with your people. Get it out there and let's move it. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, bye.